everybody, it's Lace, and in case you hadn't guessed from the opening scene there, I wanted to talk about poison. Poison you can apply to your weapons, and it's just going to give you a dot to help you kill things faster and more effectively. Now, if you're fighting, something a little lower, level compared to your particular skills, I wouldn't waste a poison on it. But when you're doing some higher content or something that maybe you're struggling with, throwing in a little poison is just going to help you kill it a little faster and stuff. You can put poison on your non-combat bar like I've got shown here, and you'll see that my poison skill is not very high because I haven't been using it much on this character, and I'm just starting to get into poison, but I kind of like it and I wanted to kind of share that with you. So we can put it on our non-combat bar. We can put it inside our decks and stuff as well. I like it on my non-combat bar so that I can choose when I want to use it, and I can activate it by just, clicking it. It's got a little bit of a cast time on it, so if you're about to die, that's not the time to do it then. You kind of want to prepare and set it up. Some mobs will be immune to it, like for instance, like undead, like skeletons and stuff. Obviously, you can't poison something that's already dead, apparently, and things like that. And then you apply it to the weapon, and you need to swing the weapon and hit a target to apply the poison to the target. So just pushing the button doesn't poison it. It's not like a spell that you cast and it hits the mob. You actually cast the poison and then attack the mob, and the poison's applied to the mob. As you go up in your proficiency with it, the duration and stuff gets better. There's also many different types of poison that you can create. Most of the recipes are drop, but believe it or not, for free on mobs, there's a lot of them that just drop the plain poison potion, which is, you can also craft it, and it's just basically like nightshade and corpse wax. Some of the more exotic ones will take corpion pieces, or maybe even undead pieces, like rotted zombie flesh or something like that. But you can get just the basic poison one. Believe it or not, the potions just drop off mobs, and so you can pretty much fund yourself using those. A lot of people will sell the potions back to an NPC just because they need the gold. That's an option, but also maybe think about saving some of those poison potions, putting them on your hotbar, and using them effectively. Let's look at where poison is to train this to poison weapon. If I hit K for skills and I go into the subterfuge tree, which is this one down here, you will have to train distract, you will have to train trip, and then that's how you'll get to poison weapon. Now, new with R51 in the specialization, if you read this tooltip, obviously it increases the duration of it, but specializing it gives a chance to not consume the potion on use. That's pretty cool, especially if you're dealing in some of the more exotic ones that can be kind of costly to create and stuff. So keep that in mind. Not everybody's going to want to specialize in subterfuge, but there's a lot of folks that like to use the skills in that tree, and if that's how your build is constantly, attacking from behind and using poison with the specialization, could be a very good build for you and stuff. So let's see a little poison in action here. We've got a wolf up here that we're going to attack. I'm going to go ahead and apply the poison to my weapon as he comes in on me. And as soon as I swing, now I can see it. And you can see it. It's refreshing every time I hit him, but it's going to wear off on my weapon and where it won't refresh and stuff. And I'm just, just kind of playing with him, just poking him to see. I'm going to turn off my attack so that you can just see the poison ticking away and ticking down on him. And it's not uber damage, but every little bit helps. So dots are great. You've probably all seen that Leroy Jenkins video, and what's the guy screaming? More dots, more dots. So that's what poison is. So again, I can attack, and now it's worn off. If I reapply it, again, I'm burning a potion when I do this. So you're not going to want to constantly do that. You're not going to use a poison potion on every single mob in every single fight. Also, if I had two targets here, I have this one locked, and if I tabbed to lock the second one, um, when I have that poison applied to my weapon, I would probably want to poison this one, tap this guy, and poison him too. Just gonna heal up here, and I'll pick up in a second. So we polished him off, and I just didn't want to die while since I wasn't really trying to attack him. But again, like I was saying, if I have multiple targets, I'm not going to want to stay focused on the first one I poison. I'm going to want to poison everything around me while the poison's applied to my weapon. So I would tab around through my targets right in my general vicinity so that I poison them all, and keep probably keep doing that, keep applying the poison to every one so it lasts for the longest amount of time. So you're not limited to just poisoning one target. It's applied to your weapon, and eventually it wears off, and then eventually also the effect on each mob wears down. So use that as a tactic. You don't want to just do it on one. You'd want to use it in a multiple situation. Now, if you're fighting a big boss mob, it's kind of like an ant bite, perhaps. But if build this skill up far past the 32 that I have it at right now, the duration is longer, which means that it's every 2 seconds that the poison dot is applied. So you start out with a base amount of seconds, and you can increase that time, which of course increases the total amount of damage that you're doing to that mob. Let me just back up from here because I don't want that guy to repop that we just killed while I'm talking. So that kind of covers how you would use poison and use poison on mobs. I'm going to jump back to Diamond Fields here and show you some of the other recipes. So I'm back in Diamond Fields, my little home base. And remember, if you need a place to stay and need an in-room rental, we still have some available. And when that first inn fills up, we will open a second inn. And yes, we still have our Valentine stuff up. Very bad on us, or me perhaps in particular, because it is March 1st. But anyway, I kind of wanted to show the public cache that we have here. These are recipes for the crafters, and they're free. Come get them and stuff. Just please, only take what you personally need. Don't grab 5 copies of things. If we see that starting to happen, we'll have to remove the duplicates and only let a few in there, and we will block you from the lot and stuff, because it's meant to share among the public, not hoard, not resell and things like that. So if I go in here into this public cache and I type poison, I think I should be able to filter from that. Now that's the basic poison potion, and these are the ones that drop off the mobs. You can get those. Some of these other poisons you can get too. Looks like we've got some Corpion, numbing, and stinging. And as these are taken, we will refill the bin. And also, if you want to, you can always donate. Now each one of these recipes takes different components, and these aren't all the poisons. There's a lot of different poisons, and some are more powerful, but they also take more rare ingredients to create as well. But anyway, I wanted to just show you there's not only just poison recipes in here. There's other ones that folks share. So feel free to donate and take or whatever. It's kind of set up as just community outreach and stuff. If you don't know where Diamond Fields is, we're located near Twins Foothills, which is where Elysium Mine is. And if you're any kind of crafter, you're probably going to be in Elysium Mine at some point in your career. But even as a low-level person, there's various recipes in here that you can get and stuff. And we encourage that and everything. You don't have to live here. Don't have to be, there's like a bunch of guilds of folks that live here. So you don't have to be part of this community or anything to come in here and use the recipe box. Now, Diamond Fields is a sub-POT, meaning we don't show up on one of those little markers on the overland map, but you can access us from other ones. Just to name a few, if you don't already know, it's Jade Valley, Port Phoenix, and Knox, Drowned Mountains, Gosh, there's like 7 or 8 that we connect to, and if I didn't mention yours, I'm so sorry. Phoenix Field, I think. There's a bunch, and I'm sorry, I just don't have them all in my head right at this moment. Doesn't mean I don't go to your POTs too. Sorry, guys. Um, but anyway, that's how you would access us. Usually, just me personally, I'm not trying to promote one POT over another. I just typically tend to go into Port Phoenix because my zone in is on the docks, and I take the first boat on the left to Diamond Fields. So just keep that in mind. Uh, and also, if when you're looking in the game and you're trying to find things, one utility is what used to be sodamap.com, but Portalarium bought that from Jacob White, who spent countless hours doing maps for a ton of zones. Now there's still some to be done, and now Portalarium's taken on that task. In addition, they are going to get the POTs eventually updated to where you can even see lot placement and available lots and everything like that. That's happened in some of the NPC towns. So anyway, if I hit M for map, this is now ours hasn't been, doesn't have the lot done, but as owners of the POT, we do have the ability now. And if you don't know this and you own a POT, you can put in little word text and different things. You'll be logged in and you can edit it. So if you came in from, zoned in here, you're going to zone in here on the docks by default. And if you just head due north, here's the crafting pavilion where we have events. That's also where the public cache is that I'm showing you. And then you can just read the other little signage that I've put in there in the town for now, as a placeholder until such time as you can see all the lots and things that are here. For you new players, on the overland map and stuff, you can also hit M for map, just like I did here inside this section, to help you find your way around the world. But for a searchable context area of that, what you're going to want to do is go to www.shroudtheavatar.com/map. I don't think it's maps with an S, I think it's map. And then it still looks a lot like Jacob White's original thing. And again, thank you, Jacob White, for getting that in there. And you can type in the name of somewhere you're trying to go. Again, I don't think every POT can be found from that utility at this time, but that will happen eventually. You can find all your hunting scenes. You can find all your NPC towns at this time. So that's just another resource. I know that's out of the scope of Poison and probably should have been its own video, but in just trying to tell you how to get here, it's not bad to mention, just so you know a little bit more about different mechanics and utilities and things you can use inside the game. So to make poison potions, getting back on track here, you need to have components and ingredients, obviously the recipes, which we've covered, but you also have to have flasks. And you're going to get flasks from, let's say if you are living in a POT, from somebody called a magic merchant. And you just look for flask, and you're going to need empty flasks, and each recipe requires 3 empty flasks per single combine. So while it may say, I don't know, I'm just making up a number, 10 mandrake root and 10 black pearls, and 3 flasks, remember that 10 gets, equally quote-unquote divided to result in 3 flasks of poison. So it may seem high in cost on materials on some of these things that you're making, but you do get 3 back. Secondly, like I've already said, you can get free poison potions. They're not going to be the uber ones again. They're not going to have the max damage or the max effects, but it's very viable to just use poison from the drops that you find in the game, provided you're hunting a lot and provided you're using them situationally and not just spamming the poison button all the time. I wouldn't rely on poison to kill mobs. I would use it to boost my DPS to perhaps kill some things faster, or help, a lot of mobs have regen, to just, put a little hold on their regen, counter that effect that they inherently have, and use it just to keep that, not going up if you miss a lot or something, and stuff like that. And missing and stuff, well, that depends on, if you're a caster, that's going to be your int that tells you if you're going to hit or miss. And if you're melee, your dex is telling you hit or miss. And then, of course, also your adventure level. I'm not going to get into the formulas of that. I keep just really going out of scope today. But there's so much to talk about that rolls around just the topic of poison. Again, like we've talked about, there's different components. So, and the one that drops for mobs is just nightshade and corpse wax. There's plenty of places to harvest nightshade in the world, so you can get that pretty readily for free if you harvest a lot. But other than that, you could buy it from the magic merchant, just like where we got our flasks. Corpse wax is going to drop off the undead, so you can get a pretty good free supply of this. So it becomes a pretty cheap potion to make, but again, it drops as well. Chaotic corruption, you're going to see this thing, chaos plant pollen, that tends to drop more in PvP zones, but I have gotten it in other places as well. Corpian poison gland, of course, you're going to need to. That's going to be more in your desert scenes that you're going to find the Corpians to kill. And so that's where you would get the ingredients for that. This is Nightshade and Black Pearl, Deadly Poison. And each one of these have a little bit different effect, by the way. Numbing Slime Ooze, obviously you need slime. And then Nightshade again. Paralyzing Spider, well, spiders, killing spiders and getting the venom sacs for that one. Stinging is just Nightshade in and of itself. And again, and there's some other ones that I actually don't have. No, I do not have all the recipes. This is true. There's a couple rare ones that are drop only from higher boss mobs, and I refuse to pay the price. When I can kill those boss mobs, I will get those recipes. Because I'm not a potion or a poison potion aficionado. I don't feel that I really need them. I'm doing fine on my own. And I've survived for several years. Well, not several years. Well, actually several years, but that was including wipes. But since persistence, I've done pretty well without using poison. But I'm trying to get better at the game and do better, so I'm starting to branch into more things. Just like I showed on the video with the stacking. Poison is another thing in my arsenal that I'm trying to learn a little bit more about. And of course I'm doing a video from my novice perspective to show you guys that it's another option of dots to use, regardless of what your particular combat skill is. Now, the only exception to this at this current time, archers, you do not get to poison your arrows. And basically the reasoning that I've heard behind that is, one, archers do quite a bit of damage already. You could kind of say they're the marquee of DPS in the game at this time. And they haven't nerfed their damage. Instead, they've brought other people's skills up to compete with that damage. But again, all melee weapons or things of that nature aren't necessarily on track with an archer. But using things like poison gets you up to that same quote-unquote level if you're talking about a game balance perspective. So these are ways to equalize to an archer. Of course, the archers are always running around going, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. And me, I stand there going, come on, bitch. I dare ya. Anyway, sorry if that language offended you, but these are the recipes that you can craft, at least that I can craft and speak to. So in conclusion, try to experiment a little bit with poison. Save up the ones that you get from drops. Remember, drops like any kind of potion that drops is going to come from humanoid mobs. You're not going to get it when you're hunting animals. You don't get bundle supplies when you're hunting animals. So some people would think, well, why would I ever hunt animals? Well, because you get other things from animals. Especially if you're a crafter, you're going to want to hunt animals. And secondly, there's a lot of animal concentration areas, which again gets you good XP. So it's kind of like everything else. It's situational. What you want to hunt. If you know, I like hunting animals because I want the animal hides and I want the components from skinning and stuff. So that does appeal to me. But if you're looking as a brand new player, I would kind of almost avoid animals unless you've got a vendor or you've got somebody that's willing to buy your hides and stuff that you get from them. Starting out, I would try to go humanoid as much as possible because one, you get the gold. Two, you get the chance for these drops of either bundles, and then also the potions that you can use and utilize to help boost yourself a bit. Whether it's either a focus potion, a heal potion, or the basic poison potion, you can supply yourself for free using what you're getting in the world as you go about hunting. Whereas if you're hunting animals, it tends to be either for maybe the pristine heads to make trophies or selling the hides or components, that you get from the skinning of them and stuff. So just again, new player, probably want to avoid the animal mobs, but I love the animal mobs. One, because they're kind of fun to fight, and I don't want to kill animals, but if they attack me, I think there's been a whole video series when animals attack. Yeah, I'm gonna fight back. Um, Hope this helps you out and hopes to introduce you to poison. I know it's been long, roundabout, covered several topics in between it, but take care, everybody. Happy hunting and be safe.